My name is Matthew Champion. I am a buildings archaeologist and I specialise in the recording of early graffiti inscriptions. The best possible time to do a survey is on a dull winter's day with all the lights off. And essentially you come along and you bring a whole variety of lights and you undertake what we call a raking light survey. So what we're doing is we're shining quite bright lights very obliquely right across the surface of the wall, and that highlights any markings you've got there, graffiti, mason's marks, even the marks of the mason's comb. And then we record those photographically and to scale, and then when the lights go off, a lot of the time the graffiti just disappears again and you never know it's there. Well, St Leonard's is one of the best graffiti churches in the country. There really is no escaping that. Hertfordshire is full of churches which are full of great graffiti, places like Ashwell and Anstey. But St Leonard's really is up there. It has a fantastic collection of just about every type of early graffiti you can think of. Inscriptions going all the way back from the 14th century all the way through to, last year. So you've got the complete collection here. St Leonard's though is special. It's got some absolutely unique graffiti inscriptions, stuff that we just haven't seen anywhere else. So we've got some musical notation, and we've actually got some musical text notation as well, which I haven't seen in any other church in England. Of course, you've got your fantastic ship, but what the church is really known for is the late 16th century inscriptions on the walls, those informal memorials. They sit as kind of a halfway house between, graffiti and a formal memorial. And those, again, I've never seen anything quite like those anywhere in the country. Attitudes towards graffiti have really changed over the years. During the Middle Ages, we know that graffiti was seen as kind of generally accepted and acceptable. Everyone was leaving their marks, including the vicar, the priests, the lord of the manor, everyone in the parish. What happens though is attitudes towards graffiti start to change really in about the middle of the 19th century. And oddly enough, it coincides with, first of all, how we view our heritage. So people start seeing these wonderful buildings as historic places that should be cared for and looked after, and therefore leaving marks on them is probably a bad idea. But also, I think it's really about that time that people start to see graffiti also as a historical resource. So, the word graffiti is it's a made-up word. It was made up in the middle of the 19th century by archaeologists. And it was made up to describe the informal inscriptions they were then recording at Roman sites like Pompeii. So graffiti really is an archaeological term, and I think we're kind of taking it back in that way. Mostly what you need is a camera and a light source, and a wide variety of cameras and a wide variety of light sources. It just depends where you are trying to record the graffiti. We're not just finding graffiti on the stonework as well, so we're also finding it on the timber, we're finding it on the lead, we're even finding it on the window glass. So each of those different areas you need to use slightly different recording techniques, and in some cases it is really a matter of trial and error. We also, these days, we use a lot of high-resolution video as well. We can literally take a video of an inscription and move the light source around the inscription itself, so you can play it back and stop it at any point and highlight what's there. So, and these days, of course, everything from photogrammetry, laser scanning, all the way through to high-tech drones. A church this size on kind of a level 3 survey, which is one of the most detailed, is going to take probably about 3 days to do most of the ground floor area here. Ashwell has got a lot of inscriptions, Anstey has a lot of inscriptions, St Leonard's has just as many, and some of them are very, very lightly inscribed. So it really does take playing about with lights, playing about with camera angles to really make sure we record those to the best of our ability.